except where them hands, where them holes, where them throws, you know what I'm saying? Cecil.
This is why I train in martial arts.
First, I guess I should give a shout out to my mother, who is no longer with us. She went on to be with the Lord decades ago. So, she's not hit by Corona. She told me a long, 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 long time ago, I'm talking at least 30 years ago, she told me I should practice my techniques with a mask on. Specifically, the type of mask that we're wearing, that's officially worn during the outbreak. She told me to practice. The mask I had at the time was one that you use for lawn care. Practice your techniques. She just called it your karate. Practice your karate with your mask on and some gloves too. I said, why? Because you never know when you might need it. You never know. You might be wearing that stuff one day and be attacked. So, for a few weeks, I ran through forms and basic techniques with the mask on. And I had workout gloves at the time because I used to wear that, like I've said in my other videos. I've been wrapping my face up when I go outside to do yard work because of allergies. So that's how I know how to make a mask out of a t-shirt. And so that's why, if no matter what I'm wearing, practically, I have a way of movement to respond to it. And it does, especially when you're newer, it can affect how you feel and you feel like you're going to respond. So that's why sometimes, since I don't wear shorts a lot, every once in a while I have to practice in shorts just so I feel like what would I do with shorts on. Remember a couple of times I went to the beach and I practiced in sandals because you have to pick your feet up differently if you're moving in sandals. You have to move a little bit differently if you're doing your techniques with dress shoes on, tennis shoes on, no shoes on. A lot of times, regardless of what martial art we're practicing, we're barefoot, especially if it's Eastern based. If you're doing a Western based combat sport, you may have on some foot gear, but your foot gear, especially like your boxing shoes, are going to be that laced up type stuff. It's going to be tailored to facilitate the movements of your sport. So, what are you going to do if you're not wearing that? If you're attacked in regular clothes, what if you're attacked in a dress suit? What if you're wearing blue jeans? Sometimes I'm wearing jeans now. I practice my form in my jeans, and if I can't do high kicks to certain clothes, I don't wear them. I like to buy clothes that I can kick in. Annoys the wife when we're out, and I'm like, okay, and I start kicking in the store. She doesn't like that, or trying to do some foot sweeps in the store. But hey, we need to think about that. So while we're in the midst of this corona situation, why don't you practice your forms with your mask on and your gloves on and see how you think and react? Why don't you practice your shadow fits for your throws, your pins, and your grappling? Practice your shrumping on the ground and your slap pulls and things like that. Why don't you practice that with your mask on or with a t-shirt wrapped around your face? If you don't want to waste masks and gloves, do it with a t-shirt wrapped around your face. See how you feel. See if you have trouble breathing. If you have too much trouble breathing, maybe you need to adjust how you wear your mask. It's good to know that now than to find out in the thick of things that having this stuff on really truly does bother or affect how you will respond. And here's another one. Since a lot of us can't go outside or go out to a full-fledged dojo, and you might not have a basement that you can declare to be your dojo, practice your forms in the corner of your bedroom. I've been doing that, and I find I have to shorten my stances. Now, as far as the judo side of the game, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. But definitely for my taekwondo side, I shorten my stances, and in certain kicks I don't feel comfortable doing because I need to have better body control over them. And plus, where I'm practicing them in my house, that part of the house really can't stand a lot of heavy jump, jump, jump. How do you move in that? What techniques do you use in that type of situation? So, practicing in different confined spaces, practice with your mask on, practice with your mask off. Why don't you practice, go through a form or two and see how you can handle it? Let's say if you pull your mask up over your face and see how you feel, how you respond, how you react then. If you live with someone else who's a practitioner, you guys can spar in COVID gear. See how you react to that. See what that does for you. See how it affects your breathing, that type of thing. It would be best to know that up front than to find out when you're in the thick of things. But as a bonus, though, honestly, and I'm pretty sure if someone's more seasoned than me, they probably thinking this, that your equipment shouldn't affect how you defend yourself, because you should just be defending yourself anyway. You shouldn't get close enough to anyone, first of all, to where you have to engage them with martial arts techniques. So if they've gotten that close to you, something's failed in your awareness and your de-escalation as it is. But be that as it may, sometimes we get caught off guard. This will prove to you where your one steps would be more beneficial, because your real life situation should be built based on 1, 2, or 3 step sparring, where you're responding to them with as few moves. You have as few moves as possible, and you allow them to do as few moves as possible, because this coronavirus situation is an excellent example of why you really should not be sparring with people when you're fighting them for real. You should be using quick self-defense responses to shut things down for real. And if you have to restrain someone, it should be you are only restraining people because you're a police officer. And that's really, it's a police officer, security personnel, that's it. The only other person you should have to restrain as a civilian would be people in your immediate family, because during COVID-19, that's all you should be around anyway. And as one more thing I'd like to add, those of you who don't appreciate kicks and distance fighting, I think you might want to rethink that, because you don't want to be up on anybody. This is not the time for clinch work, as they call it. This is not the time for fighting up close with knees and elbows where somebody can breathe on you and give you the COVID. No. I would say this is a good time if you have to fight. This is a strong case for roundhouse kicks, front snap kicks, front stomp kicks, especially side kicks. Any type of kick that keeps that person away. Jump kicks, off angle jump kicks. I think you may want to work on those. I know I'm going to start working on those again, even though I certainly do not plan on using them, because your best form of self-defense right now is defending against the virus itself, and that means your awareness and social distancing and controlling yourself, and just not going about as little as possible. If you can work from home, work from home. If you've got to go to the store and your state or county says wear a mask, just wear it. Just avoid people as much as you can to minimize conflict. As someone said, who is not a martial artist as far as I know, minimize conflict by minimizing contact. That really applies during COVID-19. So thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. The person that said that, by the way, was Neely Fuller Jr. Please share this with people who like to talk about the martial arts. And peace. And thank you for your time.
Where the kicks at?